In this video, I'm going to show you how to use property drawers to extend the organization and functionality of the inspector window in Unity. Property drawers are like creating our own GUI elements, except these elements are used inside the Unity editor. These custom elements are specifically for drawing a property of a script. We tell Unity which property drawer we want to use with an attribute. Unity only has a few property drawers built in, but that's okay, since we can create our own. Let's start by looking at this enemy object. It has an enemy script which has three variables: the attack power, default greeting, and look angle. If we wanted to modify these variables to be easier to use and input new variables, we can do the following. We can limit the range of our attack power from 10 to 80. This can help us avoid errors of a negative attack power or attack power that's too high. We see that adding this attribute to the attack power will now add this range slider into the Unity inspector. This slider will go from 10 to 80. Additionally, I've created some custom property modifiers that will do the following. This pop-up attribute is going to take an array of strings, which will be the values available to us when setting the default greeting. This incremental change attribute is going to take a value, which is an increment, so that when this value is changed, it'll only change by increments of 5 degrees. Let's see this in action. We can see here now that we've been provided with a dropdown for our default greeting, using the array of strings we passed into the attribute. Further, our look angle is now modified by 5 degrees at a time. Let's look at some code and how these are created. Property drawers require two components. The first being our property attribute, which we're going to add above the properties we want to use our custom drawer. We're going to define our custom property drawer as a type of drawer for our incremental change attribute. This way, whenever we tag a property with our incremental change attribute, this is the drawer that will be used when drawing it. We're going to override the onGUI method of the property drawer class we're inheriting. It's going to add a slider and a label. The slider will be hidden to allow us to slide and change the value just like Unity does by default, and the label will show us the property value. Finally, we're going to round the property value to the nearest increment. The pop-up attribute is going to take an array of strings, which will then be drawn by the pop-up drawer. This pop-up drawer is likewise going to override the onGUI method. It's going to add a pop-up field that includes the values defined in our attribute. We're also going to pass in an index of the selected item. To see a class that could really use some new property drawers, we're going to take a look at our inventory class. We see that the default method of drawing these items is pretty messy. I've created a custom drawer for this class, named the inventory drawer. This will be used to draw a list of inventory items. When overriding the onGUI method here, we're going to utilize the serialized property value to retrieve the property values of the inventory item we're drawing. The findPropertyRelative method is going to take a string and retrieve public values from an inventory item. We can see here that we have an ID, item name, and type, which are the names of the properties we're retrieving here. Next, we're going to draw a text area that will include our item name, a pop-up to include the inventory item types, and finally, we're going to add a custom button that's going to retrieve the inventory our item is in and call the remove item using our item ID. This will allow us to add a button to remove items from our inventory inside the inspector window. Let's add this to our inventory class and then take a look at it in Unity. Here's our list of items. We're going to add a property to it of inventory item. And now when viewing this in Unity, we now see that our inventory items are displayed in a much nicer format. And we can click our custom button to remove items from the inventory. In this video, I've shown you how you can use property drawers to extend the inspector in Unity. These property drawers enable you to truly make Unity your own. If there's something you don't like about the way the inspector displays data, you can change it. Additionally, being able to call methods inside your scripts with the push of a button really opens up the possibilities, allowing us to modify the way data is displayed and create custom drawers for our custom data structures lets you use the Unity editor in the most efficient way possible.